You going to the beach or going to the roller coaster parks or?
Okay, so I've been to Florida. Yes, I've been to the parks.
So you're heading
How
on
about your mom?
vacation
Has she been to
starting
Florida
tomorrow?
or Miami
We're leaving it tomorrow morning.
or
Nice.
Hawaii?
Been to Maine.
What,
Where are you
Maine
going?
this year?
Yeah,
We go down to
Maine
Destin,
is really
Florida.
Oh,
She
beautiful.
always
We go there
tells
every
me
year.
she's going
Every
to
year.
Hawaii.
Do you have a same place? Oh,
This year
It's a
we're going.
condo that on the ocean front that we
Yeah.
use every
Australia,
year.
wow.
nice.
All right, we're live.
But when we get back from Australia, like 3 weeks later, she and my dad are going with my aunt and uncle to Costa Rica.
Wow.
Is that started? It doesn't, it's not lighting up.
I've never done that. Dr. Wagner does that. That looks like it. Yeah, there you go. And we're off.
Okay.
All right. Good evening, everyone. If we could start the meeting with a moment of silent prayer, please. Thank you. Please stand for the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And if you can call the roll, please.
Mr. Swager?
Here.
Mrs. Davis?
Here.
Mr. Benton?
Here.
Mrs. Boer?
Here.
Mrs. Thomas?
Here.
You want me to do the reading of the notice while you type?
Sure.
All right. This is a public meeting of the Board of Education for the purpose of conducting the school district's business and is not to be considered a public community meeting. There is a time for public participation during the meeting as indicated in the agenda. Each statement made by a participant shall be limited to 3 minutes. Upon request of the superintendent, the district shall make reasonable accommodation for a person with a disability to be able to participate in this activity. A recording will be made of each meeting of the board as an administrative aid and shall be preserved as public documents of the board. Any additions or deletions to the agenda?
We do have both this evening. We have an addition to the consent agenda, item C, resignations. We'll add Alex Pavlik, our school psychologist. And that would be it for additions. For deletions, we will postpone the presentations. As you probably noticed, Dr. Wagner isn't here, but he will do those, he's working really hard to get here, but the airlines aren't cooperating. So he will do those presentations at the next meeting.
Excellent. Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda?
So moved.
And a second?
I'll second.
Any conversation? Please call the roll.
Mrs. Boer,
Yes.
Mrs. Davis,
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas,
Yes.
Mr. Swager,
Yes.
Mr. Benton.
Yes.
Anyone sign in for public remarks?
No.
No. All right. We've removed presentations, and we'll go on to board committees.
Yes.
I think
On
we only
our-
have one, building grounds and
yes.
safety.
Yes, we, Mrs. Thomas will report on that meeting that was held on the 25th. And just as a note, the Finance Committee, previously scheduled for July 7th, was canceled, and that will be rescheduled. So I think Mrs. Thomas' report is the only one.
Yes, we did meet on June 25th. We met to discuss the high school addition that's going on in the progress. They were they're a couple days behind. They were hoping to catch up on some things, and I think we'll get an update here in the next week or so where they are with that. The other thing that we talked about was the fireworks, obviously, because that was right before we had the fireworks, and just went over a few things there. I think in the after-action item review, Dr. Wagner and I don't know if Derek Busenberg or Derek Holder will be a part of that, but I think there's a couple items they're going to discuss in there. Nothing major, just little things that we can make improvements each year too. But it was a very nice event, and I think everybody was excited about that. And then we also had Mr. Jenny celebration for him for his retirement, and that was a special time as well.
All right, thank you very much. Any questions, comments? Do you have anything from LPDC? Did he report
I do
anything else?
not.
Okay, August 5th is the meeting for that, so I just want to make sure he didn't have any.
Good point,
Yep.
yes.
All right. Moving on to consent agenda. You want to?
Sure. Consent agenda resolution 25-07165. Would you like me to highlight a few of these
Please.
recommendations? We did mention with the resignations that we added our school psychologist there. And with the 4 resignations, that would finalize the actions for this upcoming school year. So all positions are filled except our permanent sub, and including the school psych is filled. We have a couple of new staff. Is Benjamin here this evening?
No, but I can speak on the 2 that are here if you would like.
Okay. Maybe in just a moment, if you would like him to come up and talk about the new staff. Sure. And I don't think Sarah could be here either. She's tied up with some summer work. And I believe that's it, unless there,
I do have
oh,
labor in attendance with our CTEC instructor
Oh,
for allied health and medical professions. She's able
Nice.
to make it. She was supposed to go for the last meeting, but she had to work, so.
excellent.
okay, that's great.
Well, if you want to start, and then we'll let him go second.
All right, perfect.
Do we need a first and a second first?
Let's get a motion
Yeah, we need to, I'll make the motion.
and a second,
I'll say, okay.
and a second.
Good evening. I'd like to introduce Abby Lambert. She comes to us, she's a Licking County gal, comes from Utica, graduate, high school, and then I'll get into your resume a little bit there. She currently works at LMH, Licking Memorial Health System, and she has experience with med-surg, as well as postpartum, I think currently postpartum. Nurse right now, and she'll be starting here this fall. She's our instructor for our 3rd career pathway, which will be medical health and medical, allied health and medical professions. We're going to primarily focus in the initial year, our first year with this program, with our STNA or state tested nurses assistant program. Ohio's a little different. We're special, of course, being Ohio. Most are certified nurse assistant or CNA program. It'll be a full year program at the high school. Currently, we have 14 students signed up for that program, but we're hoping to get a few more to get started. So that'll be our focus. We'll also, Abby will be teaching anatomy as well as medical terminology, health care careers. First semester, 2 periods of that, and then also 2 periods of nutrition wellness for the second semester. So we have some plans in the work as this program gets off the ground and running for our 2nd and 3rd year. So we're looking forward to implementing it this year. So without further ado, here's Abby Lambert.
Hi.
Well, welcome first.
Yes.
Okay.
Hi, Abby.
My name is Abby. As he said, I went to Utica High School. I graduated in 2018 and then went to college at Central Ohio Technical College. I first got my LPN license and then went back to school, got my RN license, and I'm currently in the process of working on my bachelor's in science of nursing, which I'm hoping to be done with in the spring. Other than that, I just have a little bit of experience in long-term care. I worked at Kendall, is what it previously was. Now it's Otterbein Senior Living in Granville. I was an STNA there for 2 years, and then I was an LPN there for 2 years as well, and then went right into working at Licking after that, and have 2 years of medical surgical experience, and then I've been in postpartum for about 8 months now, so that's kind of about me.
Do you still live in Utica?
I do, yeah, yep.
Well, welcome.
Yeah.
We're very excited about the program and happy to
Yeah,
have you.
we're really excited that a lot of our students have gone on to work in the medical field as technicians, as nurses, as doctors. So we're really excited about the opportunities and the exposure you can give to our students at a younger age. So we were really excited. So
Yeah.
thank you.
I actually went to C-Tech for a year, my junior year of high school, and although I didn't finish at C-Tech, I feel like it was a good experience because I went for physical therapy and I found out that isn't what I wanted to do. So I feel like even though it may not have turned out to be what I want to do, it gave me the knowledge of maybe a different career path I wanted to head on, and I didn't waste many years trying to get my doctorate in physical therapy, so
Excellent.
yeah.
Awesome. Welcome.
Well, welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you very much. Brad wanted to come, yeah, if you want to come up and talk about your two folks.
So it is my understanding that hopefully they'll be here next month to kind of do an in-person thing, but they weren't able to make this evening. Ben will be our middle school math teacher, comes to us from Heath. He's
I
been
hope
teaching.
he's here next month, school starts.
Yeah, well, I'm not talking about the board
Yeah,
meeting.
yeah,
Hopefully
I
he'll be
got
at the board meeting, but yes, I talked to Nick, Mr. Hancock, and he said that they're hoping to have him here next. But he is coming to us from Heath. He did a student teaching in Heath. He was born and raised in Heath. He's from Heath, but he's coming over to Johnstown. So he's excited to come over, be a part of that 8th grade team. I know, talking to Mr. Hancock, Mrs. Fitz, and that team, they're excited to have him there. He has, like I said, 2 years of experience in the classroom over there, but also did a student teaching and everything there. So, and then Sarah will be our intervention specialist at the high school. She comes to us with 6 years of experience working over at the Flying Colors Preschool, which we do some work with in our district. So she'd worked at that age level for a while. She did step back last year, took a year off. She lives in Granville, so again, both of them are Licking County residents. So it's nice to see those people staying and working here in our county and coming to Johnstown. So Sarah's great. She's really exciting. Mr. Shipton did get to meet her and worked with her a little bit. She's very excited to be here, and we're excited to have them both. And like I said, hopefully next month they'll be here to kind of share some more about themselves.
Excellent, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any questions, comments on the consent agenda? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Boer?
Yes.
Mr. Swager?
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Next, we have the treasurer's recommendations, Resolution 2507166, to approve and ratify advances.
If I can get a motion
I'll motion.
and a second. And a motion, Ruth Ann with a second.
We did have three advances, pardon me, no transfers were made. So an advance is temporary, that will be returned as soon as we receive our money reimbursement from those grants.
Those are the federal grants that we basically pay until they pay us.
Right.
Gotcha. Okay. Any other questions, comments? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mrs. Boer?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mr. Swager?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Did we skip board meeting minutes? I think, was it part of consent? Should have been part of
Oh.
consent.
Sorry.
It was.
You're right.
It's on the previous page, I think.
Okay.
Did
Thank
you
you.
have anything about that?
No? No.
Okay. Helping. The next item, Resolution 2507167, to approve and ratify the FY25 final appropriations and estimated resources.
If we can get a motion
I'll motion.
and a second.
Second.
Thank you.
This is pretty standard for us. Any questions, comments? Call the roll, please.
Okay. Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mrs. Boer?
Yes.
Mr. Swager?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
This looks like a no vote.
Definitely no.
He's pretty busy. I'll
That's
be at
right.
the house mowing.
Yeah, you got stuff for him to do, right?
That's right. No, he loves doing his football.
Yes. So this would be, we are on the superintendent's recommendations, Resolution 2507168, approving our gracious volunteer, Mr. Alan Thomas.
If I can get a motion.
So moved.
I'll second.
Questions, comments? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Boer?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Swager?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas?
Abstain.
Well, thank Mr. Thomas for his volunteer.
Well, thank you, Ann, for letting them do it.
Right.
Well, that's the more important thing, right, Tim? Right?
That's right.
That's right. Resolution 2507169, position elimination.
And if I could get a motion?
A motion?
And a second. I think we know what this is, but any questions, comments? You guys met and went through this? Call the roll,
Okay.
please.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mrs. Boer?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Swager?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Resolution 2507-170, approval of the athletic handbook for the 25-26 school year.
We can get a motion?
I'll make the motion.
And a second. Any questions, comments on the handbook?
Do we think we should wait until our new superintendent, or
New athletic director.
new athletic director, new athletic director has a chance to look at it before, or has he had a chance to look at it, I guess is my question.
Mr. Busenberg, if you don't mind me calling on you to get your opinion on this, is there need to pass this tonight because we have athletics starting in 3 weeks, 2 weeks, 3 weeks at the end of July, or because the next board meeting doesn't occur till after athletics start? Is there stuff urgent to pass?
I think it's helpful, and Mr. Shipton, I think, was gonna speak to this, but I think the reason we delayed it by a month to not be approved with all the other handbooks was to give, Mr. Geis a chance to.
Okay.
To look
Okay.
at
To look at it.
I think he's done that,
Okay,
and so to get it for August 1 sports, I think that would be.
Okay.
okay, okay,
You're
so
good?
he has.
Yeah,
looked
so
at
you,
it. He has looked at it.
seen it. I
Okay.
shared it with him.
Okay.
And, he's actually coming in for this additional days
Yeah.
last month for him on Monday, so.
okay,
we'll have to-
sounds good, I appreciate it.
Yes.
No, I appreciate that, yeah, it's a good thought. Any other questions, comments? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Swager?
Yes.
Mrs. Boer?
Yes.
Resolution 2507171, Meta Solutions Master Agreement.
If I can get a motion?
So moved.
A second.
We know what this is, any questions on this?
This is the data.
Yes,
Okay.
Just the
our ITC. is-
Yeah, this is the one you abstained from.
That's right, that's what I,
Yep,
that's why you and I were looking,
Right.
yeah, I got it.
yep. All right, any questions, comments on this? Call the roll, please.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas?
Abstain?
Mr. Swager?
Yes.
Mrs. Boer?
Yes.
Next resolution, 2507172, to approve the agreement with VSWC Architect for the athletic improvements. There is a longer resolution. I apologize, I do need to read that whole thing.
Yep.
Right. The superintendent recommends approving the design services agreement between the board and VSWC Architects for the design and related construction administrative services for the athletic improvement project. Rationale: the board requires the service of the design professional to provide design and related construction administration services for the project in compliance with ORC sections 153.65 through 7.1. The architect was previously selected as the most qualified firm to provide these services. The architect has submitted a pricing proposal in the total amount of $548,343 to provide the design and related construction administrative services for the project, which is comprised of and not to exceed the basic services fee of $366,343 and not to exceed allowance for reimbursable expenses of $30,000 and not to exceed allowance for basic optional services of $152,000 that include surveying, geotechnical engineering, and construction materials and testing and special inspections. Item 4, the superintendent recommends approving the design services agreement with the architect for design and related construction administration services in a total amount not to exceed $548,343 in substantially the same form as attached hereto as attachment 1. The superintendent also requests that the board delegate authority to the superintendent and treasurer to execute the design services agreement for the project at the satisfactory conclusion of negotiations in substantially the same form as attached hereto in attachment 1. The Board of Education resolves as follows. The board agrees that the design services agreement with the architect for the project in the total amount not to exceed $548,343 in substantially the same form as attached hereto as attachment 1. The board authorizes the superintendent and treasurer to sign the design services agreement and other documents that may be necessary to fully execute the design services agreement on behalf of the board at the satisfactory conclusion of negotiations in substantially the same form as attached to hereto as attachment 1. I have a new appreciation for when he reads
Yeah.
those.
Any questions, comments? We chose this company. We voted on this. This is finalizing the dollar amount for that contract. All right. With no questions, call the roll, please.
You know what? I don't think we had a
We don't
first
have
and
a
a
motion
second.
yet.
Oh, we didn't?
Need a motion?
No, we don't have a motion.
All right, I need a motion
I'll motion.
and a second. Now, no
Second?
questions. We'll call the roll. Yes, Ruth
Mrs.
Ann was
Boer?
a second.
Okay. All right, great. Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mrs. Boer?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Swager?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Resolution 2507173, a second reading of revised policies.
If I can get a motion.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
These policies, everybody's seen these. We've seen these. Any questions on any of them? Hearing no questions, please call the roll.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mrs. Boer?
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Swager?
Yes.
Resolution 2507174, second reading rescinded policies.
Can I get
Or
a motion?
rescind, pardon.
Can I get a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Any questions on the second reading for rescinding? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mr. Swager?
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mrs. Boer?
Yes.
Resolution 2507175, second reading replacement policies.
Can I get a motion?
So moved.
I'll
And
second
second.
it.
Any questions on the replacement policies? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mr. Swager?
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mrs. Boer?
Yes.
And Resolution 2507176, second reading new policies.
If I can get a motion?
Moved.
I'll second it.
Any questions on the new policy? Call the roll, please.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mrs. Boer?
Yes.
Mr. Swager?
Yes.
Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
All right. Any board comments, anything? Think we're moving along in committees, so, anything from the treasurer or superintendent that they'd like to add?
The only thing, just a quick update on the budget, the state budget. The House has called an emergency session. You know, we've probably all heard the governor vetoed many items, I think 67 items out of the bill. They are going, the House will be holding that session on July 21st to consider override of 3 items that really impact schools. And that would be item 55, property tax, that gives extra authority to the county budget commission and to not collect voted mills. Also item 65, the 20 mil floor calculation, and item 66, restricting levies. So those are important items for us, and we are monitoring those, and obviously am hoping that the House does not override those vetoes, but we are well positioned as a school district financially to adjust, and we would have time to make adjustments
Yeah.
should those get overridden.
Yep, and this is the reason it's always important to remain fiscally conservative as a board, because legislatures can change
That's right.
on you, and they can change the funding mechanisms and that, and to not have huge financial impacts, if we continue to be fiscally conservative all the way, we'll be able to withstand, hopefully, any of those impacts. So appreciate the updates and keeping close on that. Any other comments, questions? All right, if I can get a motion to adjourn.
All motion?
In a second.
Third.
All right.
And I'm sorry, you guys were quick. The first, Mrs. Thomas?
And Ruth Ann was second.
Tim's got a plane to catch.
I got a truck to pack, I won't say that.
Yeah. Mrs. Thomas?
Yes.
Mrs. Boer?
Yes.
Mrs. Davis?
Yes.
Mr. Benton?
Yes.
Mr. Swager?
Yes. All right. Thank you, everybody, and have a good evening.